Deep Rock Galactic was originally released in early access at the beginning of 2018, marketed as a cooperative first-person shooter along with these 3 words: Danger, Darkness, Dwarves. At the time, I was initially drawn in by the unique premise, but as the game was in early access, it lacked a lot of content. Because of this, and due to the size of the game, it was clear that a small team was at the helm, a team which is now made up of 21 passionate developers. Fast forward 2 years, and Deep Rock Galactic has received a whopping 30 updates before version 1.0 was released in May of this year. The results of all these updates, with their minor tweaks and major additions, has created a game which is packed to the brim with content. Not only is Deep Rock Galactic one of the most rewarding games I have ever played, it is one that still surprised me after my first 20 hours, and honestly shames the other games it is competing against. In my humble opinion, Deep Rock Galactic is one of the best co-op games released this generation. That sounds like a bold statement, so over the course of this Deep Rock Galactic review, let me explain why.
Watch your fire!
The core gameplay loop is simple. You're a Dwarven miner, tasked to explore the depths of an alien planet to clear out infestations, recover lost mining equipment, and mine rare minerals. The mining mechanic is amazing, by the way. All of the minerals you mine, and the credits you're paid in, are used to upgrade your gear. The better the gear, the more complex caves you can explore, and with it comes better rewards. It's not a looter per se, as gear doesn't drop from enemies, but there are strong progression mechanics to give you reasons to keep playing. Once a mission objective is complete, it's time to call in a drop pod and get back to Deep Rock Galactic HQ. When the drop pod lands, a timer starts counting down, and if you're not on board within 5 minutes, you're left stranded on the planet and the mission fails. As you can imagine, these moments are extremely intense as you dash to get on board the pod. But because you're exploring in the dark, and every cave is procedurally generated, it is very easy to get lost. At times I was completely disorientated and felt my heart pounding as enemies attacked from every angle. Of course, if you escape these situations in the last seconds, it feels like an epic victory.
Unit secured. Initiating launch sequence. Deep Rock Galactic thanks you for your good work.
And equally, it can be heartbreaking when you don't. Like one time this enemy grabbed me and flew me away from the drop pod at a crucial moment. Along with nail-bitingly tense moments, Deep Rock Galactic also creates great suspense. It starts with alien noises in the distance, which gradually get closer and closer. Soon they're in the walls and come burrowing out to ambush you. It can be pretty terrifying at times, as once you're aware your enemies are hiding in the walls, you soon become paranoid and constantly find yourself looking around, convinced something is about to attack. The sound design also helps here, as the aliens click, screech and scutter behind you, which always made me shudder. And because the sound design is phenomenal, it is always easy to locate the direction a noise came from. Let's just say, if something is behind you, you'll know about it pretty quickly. I'd recommend playing Deep Rock Galactic with a good set of headphones, it is honestly incredible. The constant feeling of tension never disappears, as enemies have the chance to swarm you at any moment. When a swarm is about to hit, there's a brief window to prepare your defences before all-out war commences.
Contact! Lock and load!
Some of these swarms have been absolutely insane, while I only survived by the skin of my teeth. It is some of the best action I've seen in gaming this year. Although, when the enemy finally reveals themselves, the tension created earlier never quite pays off. This doesn't work as their enemy design is never as terrifying as the sounds they make. From their distant screeches, I imagined a Ridley Scott alien necromorph, but in actual fact, they're more like cartoon bugs which can be easily squashed. At times the suspense felt like the psychological thriller moments in Metro Exodus, although this feeling quickly vanishes when you realise your enemies aren't a threat. After this point, and when the illusion is broken, the feeling of tension is never the same again. The core gameplay of Deep Rock Galactic never changes. And that's bad, right? No. Not if the gameplay is solid. Rather than mixing things up constantly, small variations can be added each time to keep things fresh. And that's exactly what the developers, Ghost Ship Games, has done here. Obviously, the procedurally generated maps make sure that no two missions are the same, but there are also different mission objectives, different biomes, and optional variants to play with. I found most mission types great. They range from mineral gathering expeditions to epic boss fights as you clear out dreadnought infestations. I really enjoyed the egg hunts too, where you have to steal alien eggs. Every time you take one, the alien mother howls in the distance. The first time I heard this, paranoia once again set in. But after a while in the egg hunts, you start to become comfortable, and again, the tension never quite pays off. I'd love Ghost Ship to go one step further here, and include a small chance that the alien broodmother attacks and tries to reclaim her eggs. It would make every egg hunt that little bit more suspenseful, knowing she could attack at any minute. There was also another mission which could be improved upon, point extraction. I found these the most tedious of all, especially when playing solo. Here, you're placed in one large arena and go around collecting heavy minerals. You then walk slowly back to the main mining unit to deposit them. It's quite slow paced and enemies constantly aggro you, adding to the frustration even more. I did notice this wasn't an issue playing as a full team, as you could spread out more and finish the mission quicker. Like elsewhere in Deep Rock Galactic, it's best playing with other people. A place where I have no issues whatsoever is with the unique and varied biomes. You'll go from a glacier to a sand-blasted desert complete with sandstorms, to a magma cavern where tremors cause the roof to cave in. And there are environmental hazards too, like a chilling blizzard which freezes you over time. If you want to warm up here, there are options to take a quick dip in a thermal spring, which was a nice, absurd touch. The sense of scale in every biome was also jaw-dropping, as most times you're wandering around a huge cavern, unaware you're one step away from falling off the edge. The scale not only makes the alien planet feel hostile, but it adds significant weight to your mission by making you feel small. The maps and missions are also remixed using variants, which are like the skulls from Halo, or strike modifiers from Destiny. For example, there's a negative variant which causes an invincible enemy to stalk you, like Mr. X from the Resident Evil 2 remake. And there are positive variants too, like double XP, low gravity, or my favourite, a helium-rich atmosphere that makes your dwarf's voice go squeaky. It's not all perfect though, as there were a handful of occasions when the procedurally generated maps created bad combat arenas. I noticed this a couple of times when fighting dreadnoughts, as our team was funneled into a tiny arena and asked to take this huge boss down. There simply wasn't enough room, and of course we failed. I'd just like to say that this issue was rare and only happened a handful of times over my 25 hours with the game. There are 4 classes to play as in Deep Rock Galactic, with each taking a good amount of time to master. There's the slow-moving gunner, with a huge minigun and powerful grenades. He's less mobile than the other classes, and manoeuvres around each cave using a zipline. There's the engineer support class, with a deployable turret and a grenade launcher. He can build platforms to reach higher places, turning Deep Rock Galactic into a 3D platformer. There's the driller, with 2 automatic drills in each hand which can cut through solid rock with ease. But my favourite class was the scout, mainly due to his grappling hook. This thing allows you to zip around caves like a Cirque du Soleil act. It also has a high skill ceiling, with options to grapple away from an enemy swarm, or to even flank your enemies for high damage. I always felt like Batman every time I used the grappling hook, as I flew off into the darkness of the cave, and away from my enemy's sight.
I'm Batman.
It's also clear that a large amount of care and attention was put towards how each of the classes work together. This is most apparent when playing online with a full team. Like one time, I created a platform beneath a mineral vein, allowing the team scout to grapple to it and mine away. All of this was possible without the need for voice chat, I might add, as this is another area where Deep Rock Galactic excels. Similar to Apex Legends, there's a ping system here. By using your pointer, objects can be highlighted to appear as waypoints on everyone's screen. It is extremely effective to the point where you can convey ideas without the need for direct communication. You can even highlight useless objects like maggots and listen to your dwarf say this.
Maggot. See here, there's a maggot. Over here by the marker point. What's the moving turd?
And I also loved the emotes. If you click in the right thumbstick, your dwarf holds up his pickaxe and shouts,
The beard. Rock solid. Rock and roll.
I have no idea what this means, but I've used it to say a variety of things from hello to good job, and everybody online does the same. When joining a game, it is even custom to be greeted by a dwarf holding up his pickaxe to you.
Take precaution. Go. Nice beard. Rock.
This happened no matter what the difference in our level was, highlighting just how friendly the community of Deep Rock Galactic is. I know in other online games I'd have been kicked for being too low of a level. The way characters interact with each other is one way Ghost Ship makes sure you feel like a dwarf and immerse you in this universe. I even noticed how the tiniest of details were used to keep the immersion going, like when you call for an ammo resupply and it literally drills in through the roof and lands in front of you, or the way the engineer's turret is recalled by packing itself up and flying towards you. It's exactly this type of attention to detail that separates the good games from the great, and Deep Rock Galactic nails it perfectly. There were a few issues with the classes that did bug me though, in particular the shooting mechanics for the scout and engineer shotguns. They feel light and floaty, and don't have that powerful kickback you'd expect. It's a huge shame, as all the other weapons feel fantastic. The Scout Assault Rifle has that chunky feel, and so does the Gunner's minigun, which actually reminded me of the Mulcher from Gears of War. I just hope the developers retune the shotguns to make them feel as good as the other weapons. Currently playing with a shotgun doesn't quite feel as good as it should. In some live service games, the rewards for your efforts are not always worth it. I recently said this about Fallout 76 Wastelanders. Its endgame was far too grindy, and it gave little incentive to stick around after finishing the main quest. But in Deep Rock Galactic, it couldn't be more different. Here, you constantly have the carrot dangled in front of you, as it always feels as if you're one game away from the next reward. If you keep playing for another hour, you could earn a powerful upgrade, a new skin for your weapon, or some incredible customization for your dwarf. There's also a chance that rewards will randomly spawn in a mission, like loot chests to give you loads of rare minerals and a unique weapon skin. Or the helmet of a fallen dwarf, which leads to a hidden away pickaxe part. There's also a chance a level boss will spawn, like this huge weed monster. These bosses are hard to kill, but if you take them down, you're rewarded with a large boost to credits and XP, making the tough encounter completely worth it. If you imagine for a second that the cosmetic unlocks in Deep Rock Galactic are the equivalent of the Eververse store in Destiny 2, but we're in a world where the items aren't locked behind microtransactions, and are instead scattered throughout Destiny's missions waiting to be found. That sounds great, right? Well, that's exactly what Deep Rock Galactic is. It's this sort of mentality which favours players over profit, and I just want to personally thank Coffee Stain Publishing and Ghost Ship Games for that. Okay, so there are no actual microtransactions, but you can buy skin packs, which admittedly are overpriced. Personally though, I'm happy to spend money on cosmetics if I know it goes back to the devs or back into the game. It's clear that this is the case here, because even a few months after launch, there have been new things added. For example, a full bestiary in your miner's manual, which reveals the speed, attack, and defense of an enemy, as well as tips on how to take them down. This was not only interesting to read, but it welcomes new players to the game by giving them the basic information they need to succeed. Again, Ghost Ship has put the player first here. So yeah, this is honestly one of the most rewarding games currently on the market. Where other live service games make the same mistakes over and over again, Deep Rock Galactic learns from this, puts the player first, and shows other games how it should be done. If you want to play something where your time is always rewarded, then Deep Rock Galactic is for you. It is most definitely for me, and I honestly believe this is one of the best co-op games of this generation. Ghost Ship Games' main goal is to take co-op to the next level, and I'm happy to say they have well and truly succeeded. Thanks for watching my Deep Rock Galactic review, and see you on the next one.